Well, lads, welcome back to On the Case with me, Kasey Campion. Guys, I'm on my own today. I'm feeling really nervous. Paul's in the room. So obviously I have my own podcast, but I've kind of been like leaning on people for the last couple of weeks. Every week Paul's like, do you have a guest? I'm like, yep, I have a guest. But today he wants to record on a Tuesday, which is like very early in the week for me. I like to have a couple of days to like prepare. So I couldn't get a guest. But I do have a couple lined up for the next few weeks. I haven't told Paul yet, so we'll see if he agrees. Also, guys, you can't really hear Paul anymore because the new studio, but we're working on it. I still like to communicate with Paul during the podcast. So today is basically just going to be a big, long catch up. And also, I'm just going to talk about random stuff. I feel like I never talk about random things in my life. I just have like a set, dedicated topic. So we're going to ramble today. So the perfect little background noise if you're in the car or doing your college work or doing whatever you like to do. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is my new hair. I want a round of applause. Thank you. So if you're watching this on YouTube, which I hope you are because Paul keeps complaining that no one's watching on YouTube, I don't know if you're going to notice much of a difference. So obviously I did like before and after transitions, but some people were commenting being like, what's the difference? So basically my hair was so dead. The last like 3 inches, my mom was like, you need to cut them off. And also I didn't realize one side was way longer than the other. And my sister has a best friend called Amy. Amy's basically like part of our family. And she's very honest. She's been there through literally all of my eras. She was there when I got my ingrown toenail removed. She's been in my house when all sorts of chaos has gone down. But she sent my sister a picture of my hair. I was like, does Kasey realise one side of her hair is longer than the other? So when Amy says that, you know it's time to get it cut. So yeah, I seen Shanice got hers done in a place called The Warehouse in Ashtown. And I was like, oh, slay, I really liked hers. But Shanice kind of has like texture to her hair. So I didn't know if it would suit me, but she got like bangs and like layers. And she also has been doing the heatless curls. If you've been watching her TikToks, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh my God, I really want to do that. But my mom and my sister have always been like, do not get bangs. You're too lazy. You're too shit at doing your hair. You're never going to style them. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to book in for this haircut and not tell them. So went to The Warehouse last Friday. Was it? Yeah, Friday. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Like, who cares? Like, hair grows back. And I feel like my face is still going to look the same. Like, there's nothing I can do that's that drastic. It's going to change my face. So obviously I'm never dyeing my hair. So I'm not going to, the only thing I can do is cut it. So yeah, I went in and they were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I literally showed Shanice's picture and I was like, I want this. I was like, don't even ask me any more questions. Don't give me time to think about it. I want this. But they were actually confused because somebody rang the salon and tried to book in with the name Kasey that sounded exactly like me, but they wanted their hair dyed. And I was like, oh my God, well, thank God we've clarified that because we're not dyeing this hair today. Anyways, was there for about 2 hours actually. Got a lovely little hair wash. Sat down on the chair. They also had like a little like a little self-service station where you could like make coffee and everything. So yeah, then she started snipping my hair and I could just see it falling onto my lap and I was like kind of terrified. But yeah, so I got like a little curly blow dry and I absolutely love it. I was kind of giving Rachel from Friends, but today, guys, I'm starting a new series called Trying to Style My Hair as someone who cannot do hair. And as I just said, if you're watching on YouTube, it's giving a whole lot of nothing. I Dyson air wrapped my hair today. Okay, the Dyson costs like €500. It looks like I've been out in the rain. Like, I just don't know how to function with it. So it's going to be a process. It's going to be a learning experience. I think the most important part is that my bangs look, I'm sorry, I'm looking at myself on the screen. My bangs look semi put together, which is great, but the rest of it looks a bit dead. So you're going to have to stick along for that series. If anyone has any tips, do let me know. You would think buying a €500 hair tool would help matters, but it hasn't. But yeah, hope you all love my new hair. Moving on, my next thing is I've had a headache for about a week now. Paul said he had the same thing last week and he's still kicking, he's still alive. I have health anxiety where I convince myself I have a major health problem every now and again. Last November, so like 2024, I convinced myself that I had cervical cancer, like fully convinced. But as you all know, I was terrified of getting the smear test done, so I never got it done until like a few weeks ago. Still haven't got the results, by the way. So yeah, my next thing is that I have a brain tumor. So I had a bit of a head cold over the weekend. So Uncle Pat was like, maybe you just have like a sinusy issue. So I started taking cold and flu and like, you know, that like thing that you put up your nose to like clear your sinuses or whatever. But yeah, I have a really, really bad headache. And also Clodagh is worse than me with health anxiety. So we're obviously after coming back from Malta. And yesterday morning, I get like 15 messages from her in capital letters being like, Kasey, I know what it is. We have worms. And I was like, what? So me and Clodagh have felt like violently ill ever since Malta. So she's convinced that the two of us have worms because apparently the water in Malta isn't good. Like the ice and like the water you brush your teeth with isn't like healthy water. So she's convinced that we both have worms. So yeah, I have worms and a brain tumor by the looks of things. But no, in all seriousness, I am going to start drinking more water. I drank a full Stanley yesterday, guys. Very proud of myself. And I'm going to do that for like a week. And then if the headaches don't go away, then I may need to go to the doctor because I don't know, I'm just kind of worried. I don't really fancy having a brain tumor right now. I'm too busy for that. So next on my list, something that I didn't do for years, but I'm now doing is watching things. Okay. So obviously now I have a boyfriend, which gives me time to actually relax and watch stuff on Netflix. I'm the type of person that just like comfort watches the same show for years. Like I've watched Friends probably like 5 times. Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm a big fan of SpongeBob, actually. So I want to talk about some of the stuff we've been watching recently, and hopefully we can discuss it together, or you can give me your opinions, or you can start watching this stuff. First thing, Ed Gein, okay? I'm a huge fan of murder documentaries. Anything that's kind of like, even if it's like fake, like Ed Gein is based on a real person, but it's a bit fabricated. Like a lot of the stuff in the show didn't actually happen. So it's basically, if you haven't watched it, it's like an 8-part series, which actually took me and Uncle Pat weeks to watch. I don't know why. And Ed Gein is basically, he's not really a serial killer. He more so takes people out of their graves and does stuff with them, which is absolutely disgusting. It's such a disturbing show, but it keeps you so hooked. Like he literally like cut people up, made like lampshades out of their skin and everything. But he had like this best friend, well, more so, she was kind of a girlfriend, but kind of a best friend called Adeline. If you haven't watched it, I think she's such a good actress. She just kept me so hooked the whole time. And she at first didn't know that he was kind of like a psychopath. But then as time went on, it turned out that she was also a bit of a psychopath. But basically he had this obsession with women. And at the start, you kind of think he wants to be a transgender woman. But then when you actually dive deeper into the series, it turns out that he's so fascinated by women that he just wants to be like inside them. But like in a weird way, like he'd cut like people's dead faces off and put them on himself. And it's such a weird series. You're probably like thinking, how did she watch this? But Uncle Pat watched the first episode without me. And then he was like, okay, I started this series. Do you want to watch it with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we rewatched the first episode and he was like, you're going to think I'm a freak for watching this because the first episode's kind of creepy. But I do highly recommend watching it. But something that I found strange was that I actually felt bad for Ed Gein. And I've been like obsessed with TikToks about it now that I've finished the series. And people are like, if you're an empath, you will feel bad for him, even though he's quite literally, in the series, he kills a lot of people and digs a lot of people up. But in real life, apparently, he only killed 2 people. Only, but like, yeah. But you do feel really bad for him because at the end, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, he dies because he's obviously after turning old. But basically the whole thing is that his mother, from when he was younger, told him like that women are really bad and women, he always calls women Jezebels, right? Which me and Claude I think is the funniest thing ever because it's the same word that Kingfisher uses in the song. It's the whole thing. I think Jezebel basically means like, I think like, can you say that word? Prostitute? You say that word? My mom will kill me. So yeah, they're basically prostitutes. So yeah, basically his mother traumatized him from a young age, basically saying you can't be with women, blah, blah, blah. And that's what turned him into a psychopath. But I just don't think that's enough of an excuse to dig people up from their graves and like have sex with them. It's disgusting. Anyway, highly recommend. With all that being said, next thing, right? Uncle Pat has been plaguing me for months to watch this thing called Southpaw. Did you ever watch that? Boxing movie? No? So yeah, Uncle Pat, if you didn't know, did boxing when he was younger for years. And then he gave it up when he got a bit older. He actually done loads of sports. He done rugby. I think he done GA as well. But anyways, he was big into rugby and big into boxing and kickboxing. But he stopped boxing for years. But he went back to it recently, which, if I'm honest, I'm not the biggest fan of because it's giving Molly May and Tommy Fury. She hates watching him fight. I personally could not watch him fight people. Now, he's not doing it like professionally or anything. He's just like going down to the local boxing club and throwing a few jabs, you know. But he was mad at me to watch this movie called Southpaw for months. So finally the other night I was like, right, I'm going to give in. We can watch this movie. I don't like committing to movies. I have commitment issues. I prefer watching like series or TikToks. So we're watching the first 20 minutes of the movie and I'm like, oh my God, I hate this because it was very realistic. So first of all, it's about a guy, obviously, who's a boxer and he has this wife and obviously they're in a relationship and like whatever. And she has to go watch him do all these fights. And it kind of started making me think, oh my God, what if this was me with Uncle Pat? And then he wins a fight. He's undefeated, whatever. And then they go to this like after party. And at the after party, there's this fella who's like threatening him saying like, oh, like I'm going to fight you someday and blah, blah, blah. But he was giving him no attention, wasn't paying any heed to him. But then he said something about his wife. He was like, oh, like, do I have to have sex with your wife for you to answer me back? And it put me in that perspective. I was like, what if Uncle Pat was in this position and someone said that to him about me? Next of all, spoiler alert, wife gets shot and dies. And I'm like, no, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. So I could already tell where the movie was going. I knew it was going to be this whole thing where he gets depressed and he loses everything because he had a daughter as well. I was like, he's going to lose a daughter, he's going to lose his big fancy house, and then he's going to have this big redemption thing, and he's going to come back and he's going to fight your man and beat him. So I said to Uncle Pat, is this what happens? And he was like, yeah, it is. So I said, turn it off. I was hysterical crying. I feel like, and then he got this thing where boxers get this thing, I can't remember the name of it, but it's where you've been in too many fights. So you start to get like brain fog and stuff. And I just started thinking it was going to be Uncle Pat next. And I was like, I just can't do this. So yeah, wouldn't recommend that, guys. I'd much rather watch Ed Gein chop people's heads off. Okay, what's that? Oh, Dinner with the Enemy. This is such a good show. Have you seen this? Yeah. Do you want to know something hilarious, guys? My therapist is the guy.
That's the book.
Yeah, that's my therapist.
He was here a week ago.
Was he?
He's also the therapist on the fifth.
What the hell? Paul just said that if you can't hear Paul, he was a therapist on the Traitors. So they have a therapist. And he was here a couple of weeks ago, Captain Thomas. That's crazy. Yeah, he's my therapist. No way. Apparently you have to pass an exam to get on the Traitors, and he does a psychological exam. Interesting. The reason I found him was because when I was going through like a mental episode there, well, every week, but a proper one in 2022, start of the year, my mom was like freaking out. She was like, what am I going to do with this girl? And she knows him because he just be on telly like regularly. Like he's a psychotherapist, but he's also like, I don't know, he just be on TV stuff as well. I don't know how, but he does. He's great. So my mom recommended him and I started going to him. I actually haven't gone in ages because I've been pretty decently mentally, but knowing me, I'll have an episode soon. But yeah, Dinner with the Enemy is on Virgin Media. Basically, it's a show where you have like 10 people sitting at a table that all have very different opinions. Me personally could never go on that show because I just couldn't. I always feel like my opinion is right. It is. But my friend Sophie's on it. Sophie McGuinness. She's very like me. She loves purple. She also has a podcast. And it's so interesting seeing her on the telly because she's so opinionated. She's so, what's the word? Like she just sticks up for like what she believes in, and she's always like posting on her Instagram stories, like real, like just her opinion and stuff. So that I just feel like I could never do. But yeah, she's on it. I don't know if you remember your man Jacob. He's on it. He's transgender. Then there's Natasha O'Brien. She was attacked a couple of years ago by a fella in the army. The people on it that you would know, but then there's also like total strangers. But it's so good. It's just like, I don't know. I'm so hooked to it. And yeah, the final episode came out, I think yesterday, Tuesday. Yeah, final episode came out last night. But it's so weird seeing my therapist on the telly because when I hear his voice, it just makes me feel like I'm like in a crisis because I usually only go there when I'm in crisis mode. But yeah, highly recommend watching that, guys. It's very, very good. Also, if you are watching it, Sophie is currently having internet beef with Taim. I hope I'm saying his name right. You would think they would have the same views, but they don't. And they're having like real life drama, but on Instagram. So if you watch the show, then you see them having drama in real life. Very interesting, I must say. Okay, I feel like I'm doing like a Netflix review series here. Next up, Welcome to Derry. You familiar?
Stephen King. Oracle. You dressed as it Halloween.
Yes, Paul is very clever. I dressed as it for Halloween, but there's a new series out. Uncle Pat is mad into all these series, so we're watching that at the moment. The third episode came out, I think yesterday. We haven't watched it yet. The first two, it's good. Like it's meant to be really scary, but I more so find it kind of goofy. Like I feel like it'll get better as the episodes go on, but I do love it because it's scary, but it's not too scary. Like it's not going to keep me up at night. But speaking of scary things, we went to see Black Phone 2 the other night in cinema. So Uncle Pat is very into horror movies, if you can't tell. Maybe he's secretly a serial killer, who knows? And a couple of months ago, he got me to watch the Black Phone 1. And oh my God, as much as it was terrifying, I really, really liked it. You ever seen it? No. So it's basically a horror movie. There's a phone in a basement that keeps ringing and this guy keeps killing people, basically these children. But the Black Phone 2 came out. So we went to watch it the other night. And obviously, I don't know if I told you about my experience in the cinema a couple of months ago. I feel like I did. Everybody was just talking and like having full-blown conversations. So I was traumatized from the cinema, but we went back anyways. We went to the like 10:30 showing, which was quite late, but it was really good. And I actually met a couple of yous there, which was great. But this girl ran over to me and she's like, oh my God, I saw Uncle Pat. And I knew you had to be around somewhere, which is so funny because the fact that people are actually calling him Uncle Pat, like I just did not think that was going to stick around. And he's just there like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, great movie. Also very terrifying. People are saying it's like the best sequel like of all time. I don't know. Like I'm not great with like judging movies. As I said, I don't really watch them. But I found it very good. Definitely not better than the first one. I felt like it was a bit rushed towards the end. If anyone has watched it, do let me know what you thought. But yeah, that's kind of everything we've been watching at the moment. The next big thing I'm going to see is Wicked. The premiere is on Tuesday. I got invited last year, so I'm very, very lucky. I am bringing my sister. She's a huge Wicked fan. And then Brandon is bringing my cousin Ava. So it's going to be like a little family affair. We're taking it very seriously. Me and my sister wore matching outfits last year. So I wore green, like a little kind of suit thing. She wore pink this year. We're getting matching dresses off O'Poly. So they're kind of like, obviously one's green, one's pink. They're identical, but they're kind of like jewels. And they're kind of like, They're kind of like square neck, and then there's a bit of like a longer bit at the bottom. They're going to be really cute, I hope. So I need to order those today, otherwise they're not going to come. So yeah, very excited for the premiere. I always find it really weird wearing like a dress and heels in the cinema, but that's what we're going to be doing. Wicked, I'm going to be honest, I'm not one of these mad, obsessed like theatre kids. I feel like a lot of them are like mad into Wicked. So when I went to see it last year, I really didn't know what to expect, but I loved it. And as for someone who doesn't watch movies, I went and saw, I think twice after it came out. So I went to the premiere, then I seen it twice, and then I watched it again recently at an event. So I'm very excited to see what number 2 is like. The European premiere was on last night, and Crossy from F1 was there, which I just think is so cool. Like, he was literally interviewing Ariana Grande and Cynthia and like all the other characters, like just on the red carpet. Well, I don't think it was a red carpet. I think it was a yellow brick road. But like, so cool. Like, my dream date. Like, I'm going to be Crossy in the future. Okay, if you're not living under a rock, you would have heard Miss Katy Perry returning to Dublin. If you're a long time listener of the podcast, you'll know, big Katy Perry fan. So Katy Perry was the first singer I think I ever listened to. Her, Miley Cyrus. So when I was 11, my mom brought me to a recording studio because she was convinced that was going to be the next big thing. And I recorded Part of Me, Katy Perry. And if you follow me on Instagram, you might see I put up a video of it yesterday. We were going to put it into one of the podcast episodes, I think season 1, but then there was a bit of a copyright situation. But yeah, when I was younger and in school, when they asked you like what you want to be when you're older, I was like, Katy Perry, like, I'm going to be her. But I feel like, I don't think she came to Dublin when I was younger. Either that or I just was too young to go. But me and my granny went and saw her concert in the cinema, and that was an experience in itself. So obviously I went to see her a couple of weeks back in Belfast, and I know I'm dramatic, so it's hard to like tell when I'm being serious or not. But one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It was incredible. So then when I got the inkling that she was coming back to Dublin, I was like, this is my dream date. Then my manager tells me, not only is she coming back to Dublin, but you're giving away tickets on your radio show. I was like, surely not. So all this week, well, when you're listening to this, it'll be over. I'm giving away tickets every single night, which is so, so exciting. And I got to come up with the mechanics. So the mechanic is basically the game of how the listeners win the tickets. So I got to come up with my own, which was very exciting. So I've basically been playing a snippet of my recording from the recording studio, and I stop it at a certain point and I get people to WhatsApp voice note me in them singing the next lyrics, which is fun because obviously I get to play out my little moment of fame that I thought I was going to have. And then people are sending me in their voice notes, which is really cool. So hopefully whoever wins, I'll get to see you there next year. I don't have tickets. They go on sale Friday, but I'm very excited. I think, but I don't know if she's doing the same tour she'd done in Belfast in Malahide. Oh, sorry. I forgot to mention a major problem. It's the same night as Lewis Capaldi. It's bringing a tear to my eye. Whose great idea was that? I'm very upset about it, but I have a plan. So Lewis is doing 2 nights. I currently have tickets for the first night, which clashes with Katy Perry. So I'm going to try and swap those tickets for the second night, because obviously I'm going to both. There's no, like, that's not even up for discussion. Or I feel like Katie might do a second night, but a lot of people are saying she probably wouldn't sell out 2 nights in Malahide. Do you think she would?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think? Yeah, Paul thinks she does. I think she would, because people have loved her since they were, like, people my age have loved her since they were kids. People even older than me have loved her since they were kids. And then obviously the new generation also love her. So I feel like she could sell it out. But guys, let me know. Are you going to both? Are you going to either? Will I be seeing you there? That's going to be some weekend. Well, I don't know if that. I feel like it's over a weekend. 24th of June. It sounds like a Saturday. That's going to be my dream day. I can't stop saying my dream day. Okay, what else is coming up on my list of gorgeous things? Oh, so the president's official inauguration is today. Is that the word you use? Yeah. Inauguration? It kind of sounds like something out of The Grinch. Well, that's a jubilation. So my dad's working at it. I told you a couple of weeks back that my dad moved apartments. So he was in the family law courts for like 22 years, but now he's in like the events, like management section of the guards. And he was like, please give me a shout out on the radio. He basically organized, not the whole thing today, but he was involved in the organization of the whole thing and like the safety of the president and all that stuff. But Uncle Pat's dad is also working at it because he's in the army. So my dad was like, oh, I'm going to go over and like get a selfie with him. And I was like, obviously not. Like, they've never met before. How would he even know what he looks like? Literally about 2 hours into the inauguration, my dad sends me a photo. And he's like, us two protecting Dublin Castle. And it's a photo of him and Uncle Pat's dad. I'm like, how did he orchestrate that? I was like, how did he even know what he looked like? Then my dad rang me there literally before I started the podcast. He was in Grilla, my favourite toasty place. And I was like, how did you find him? And he was like, Kasey, come on. Like, they basically look identical. But yeah, it was kind of weird seeing them in a photo together. I would love to know how that conversation went. Guys, so the podcast obviously gets the inside scoop. And obviously I do a lot of complaining. But I try not to complain as much on TikTok anymore because it's not a good look. And also, you want to come across positive for people. But obviously, being in the influencer world, there is some negatives. And I feel like everybody these days wants to be an influencer. And I don't blame them. It's a great job, great perks, great money, great free things. But obviously, there is negativity. And not even, like, obviously, the main negative everyone talks about is the hate, because everyone gets hate. But there's something I want to talk about that I've specifically noticed this week. So, obviously, influencers get a lot of gifting. We get so much free stuff. And obviously, if you listen to my podcast with Neve last week, which you should have, you'll know that at the start, when you first get gifting, you're like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. Like, I remember when I first got a pair of magnetic eyelashes in the door in 2023, I was like, oh my God, the whole family was gathered around. We were like, we can't believe we get this stuff for free. But after a while, I'm just going to be completely honest, the novelty wears off a little bit because there could be 10 packages at your house one day, which obviously is amazing. I will never not be grateful, but obviously it's not as exciting as day one. Do you get me? And it can be overwhelming, which again might sound ungrateful, but you listeners on the podcast are people that I assume like me, so you're not going to think that I'm being ungrateful. So some days I'll come home, there'll be 10 packages there, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is great, but where am I going to put the stuff? I need to post it all. So basically, the thing with gifting is you're not obliged to post it. You don't have to post it, but obviously the brands they would like you to post it. And obviously they're sending out stuff with the hopes they're going to get publicity and advertisement out of it. But obviously, as an influencer, we do a lot of paid work as well. So the paid work is priority, obviously, because it has deadlines and it has payment. But recently I've been getting gifted stuff, and I'll find that a lot of the brands will be texting me being like, okay, you haven't posted it yet, da-da-da-da. And I'll be like, okay, I completely get that. Like, if you've only sent out one thing to me, you're probably like waiting with bated breath for that post. Whereas I'm getting 15 things in the door. And also, I'm rarely ever home. I'm in work most of the time. I'm in Dublin most of the time. I'm in Uncle Pat's a lot of the time because he lives in Dublin and it's easier for me to commute in and out to events. And I'm just so busy. So if I don't post something within like 2 days, people are starting to get kind of pissed off, which I do understand. But I posted a thing on my close friends. Did you see it, Paul?
I did not.
Paul has just enlightened me that he mutes everybody on Instagram. I'm like, why do you have an Instagram account? Anyways.
I do check.
He checks in. I feel like you see all my stuff though, because anytime I do something, you see it.
I check it.
He checks in, okay. So I posted a thing on my close friends the other day, which is 90% influencers. Then I have my family in it, and then like obviously my friends. Basically posting a screenshot of this one particular brand that asked me, like, you know, I'm a small business and I sent you out this thing and you haven't posted it yet. And I am not bashing them whatsoever. I just want to give a bit of insight to people that might want to get into this career as to what kind of comes with it. So I basically send them back a reply, and I might read the reply. Can I do that, Paul? Okay, let me get the reply. Again, I am not bashing this brand whatsoever. I completely understand if they have just sent me out something, they might be waiting for the post. And also I understand as you're running a small business, it might be very difficult. So I replied basically saying, hey, so sorry, I was away. I was in Malta, obviously. If you follow me, you know that. And then with Halloween weekend, I hadn't really been on my messages. And today I'm catching up with all my messages on my PR. I'm actually gathering it up as we speak to take photos. As I work full-time in radio and I also do content full-time, I have to prioritize my paid work. And sometimes gifted things can fall a bit behind. With paid stuff, we usually have weeks to return the content. So it's a bit similar, if not longer, for gifting usually. I'm also in Dublin most days of the week, so it's rare that I'm home. And when I am home, that's when I film my content. If you follow me or watch my content, you'll probably notice that I usually do a day where I post all my PR in the one sitting. And then I post little bits here and there on TikTok. And I usually do a large PR haul where I include everything, which I also plan on filming today. Thanks again. So I think that was fairly, I don't know, fair. Do you think it's fair?
I believe.
Okay, he says it's fair. So I posted that on my close friends, expecting everyone to be like, oh my God, you're such a bitch. But everybody in my industry was like, Kasey, I say no to gifting now because of this, because the pressure that the brands put on you. And I really hope I'm not coming across like a bitch. But obviously, like, people don't see influencing as a real job. It is. Another thing that I wanted to speak about is you might see a 60-second video. Like, I put up an ad the other day for Spotlight Oral Care, 60-second video. The actual footage was probably like an hour long. Now, luckily there was no amends for that video, which was great because I'm just that good. I got a first try. But a lot of brands recently, there's been so many amends. And how it works is in our contract, well, how it works with my agency is the brand gets one round of amends. So we send off the content. If they're not happy with anything, they can send it back with one round of amends. But recently I've had a couple of videos where I've had to do like 5 or 6 rounds of amends, which again might sound like, okay, so shut up, like you're getting paid for it. But imagine being in like your job, like, I don't know, in the office or like building a house and they're like, can you just rebuild that 5 times? Like, obviously it's not the same thing. Paul's laughing at me. Or like, obviously it's not the same thing, but it's kind of frustrating where like you get a brief. This is one thing, right? This is one thing that really gets me. A brand will be like, do a day in the life and include the product, okay? Which I do. I do that quite well. Then I'll send it back for approval and they'll say, oh, can you actually just remove like the whole day in the life and just keep the product? And I'm like, why did you brief me like that in the first place? So basically what I'm saying is I adore my job. I would never in a million years swap it for anything else. I actually look at people, normal people like Paul, and I'm like, how do you do those jobs? Because I love it so much, but I just want to make sure people know there is bits that are involved that aren't the most glamorous. And also like people glorify influencers like you have such an easy life and you get free stuff and da-da-da-da. There is stuff that comes with it. I just want to say. But I really hope I'm not coming across ungrateful. I'm just being honest. So yeah, the gifting thing I really need to start looking into a bit more. I kind of want to start declining stuff because like I don't need that much stuff. But then I'm like, oh, the more stuff I get, I can just give to my friends, give to my family, do giveaways. I also had a really good idea for my 150k giveaway. So I just hit 150k. We're actually already on like 152 or something. And I kind of want to do a thing where I don't just do a generic giveaway. I want to pick like 10 people who I see commenting on my stuff regularly and frequently and are always in my DMs. Like if I remember your name, that means like you're obviously a very big supporter. And I want to send them some stuff because I feel like it's a bit more personal then rather than sending somebody who may have only just followed me last week, like a big amount of stuff. Is that a good idea?
I agree.
You think? Yeah, because there's a couple of people that follow me that I would speak to on the daily. Actually, a girl emailed me today, right? This was so funny. And she was like, hey, Kasey, like I really want to get into content creating. I see you get a lot of PR sent to me. Would you be interested in sending me a bit of PR so I can make some content? And at first I'd be like, excuse me? But she ended the email with bye driver. I just think I'm going to have to do it. I think because of her ending of that email, I might just have to help her out, guys. But yeah, they're my little rants of the week about the influencing world because I just like being honest with you people. But I've been getting a lot of work with it lately. I'm so grateful. Like this month alone has been crazy. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Oh yeah, lots of money, guys. Big money. But the only thing about making loads of money is you pay loads of tax. This year is my first tax return. So I have an accountant who actually I need to get back to. They emailed me today. So I think basically the moral of the story is the more you work, the more tax you pay. So it's not worth it. Anyway, I'm joking. Right. So obviously I've just ranted for a bit about my influencer life, but obviously there's a lot of positives. So my radio show, oh my God. In my opinion, it's going really, really well. As I said last week, I'm up 3,000 listeners, which is great. That doesn't even include listeners that listen on the app and stuff, I don't think. So if you're listening on the Onic Player app, shout out to you. Also, if you're listening to this right now, make sure you download the Onic Player app. I feel like I'm like a broken record saying that, but you can listen to all the Onic podcasts. So like myself, Socially Awkward, all the Onic radio stations, FM 104. And yeah, my radio show, every night I come in, I'm like, surely this isn't my job. Like it's so cool. I've got so many people asking me how I got into it. I do have a podcast episode on that from this season called Career Advice. And I'm pretty sure I did one last season as well. I think my first episode might have been about that, was it?
Let's take you there.
Yeah, who I am, what I do. So yeah, highly recommend that. But obviously if you have more questions, I can get into that. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of interaction. You're all WhatsApping in. Loads of people text me every day being like, oh, are you going to be on Locked In tonight? So yeah, I'm loving that, guys. The giveaways are doing really well. And yeah, I get a lot of feedback in real life, I feel. Like sometimes I feel like no one's listening to me. Like if I don't get WhatsApps in, I'm like, oh, no one's listening. But then again, how many people WhatsApp into a radio show? I don't really know. But I've really been loving doing the Roadhogs. I done a Roadhog last week or 2 weeks ago in town. So I was like smack bang in the middle of town on a big massive truck. My voice is being projected out into Dublin City. And it's just so cool. Like, what do you mean that's my job? It's actually, like when you actually deep it, I literally talk for a living. But then again, I do have to split myself in 3. So obviously I have the podcast, I have radio, I have TikTok. Obviously they're 3 similar platforms, but they're also very different. Obviously on the radio, I can't curse. Not that I would curse, but I can't curse. There's obviously certain opinions I wouldn't give, whereas on the podcast, I can curse. I try not to. And I give way more opinions on the podcast. And I also say stuff that I probably would never say on TikTok. Then with TikTok, I'm very PG, I feel. Like I don't ever, like I don't know, even like putting up stuff about my smear test, even that I was a bit like, oh, like it's weird, but it's not weird. It's normal. Whereas Neve, who was here last week, she'd be very explicit on her thing, which there's no issue with that. But I just think I don't know, Neve calls me a prude. Everyone calls me a prude. I just don't like talking about stuff that's like, I don't know. Haven't done OnlyFans. Not that I'm going to be honest, guys. I'd be against that kind of thing. I just don't think it's the route. Obviously, Neve is one of my best friends, and I admire Neve for how she's changed her life around, but I'd never judge her for doing it in the past. Something I actually wanted to speak about, it's kind of similar that I wrote down, I forgot to mention. I don't know if you've noticed this on social media. A lot of people are getting their plastic surgery removed. You seen this? So yeah, a lot of influencers who have got like boob jobs, lip filler, BBLs, all sorts of stuff are getting them removed. And I just think, I don't know, this might be controversial. I don't agree with any of that stuff. Now here's me, maybe in 10 years I'll get a BBL, who knows? No, I won't. But the only thing I've ever got done is my teeth. And I just think, I don't know, like influencers, they don't have a responsibility, I don't think, to, like, if you want to get a boob job, get a boob job. A lot of people say, oh, you're influencing people. Who cares? Like, if people choose to follow certain people, that's their own doing. I just don't know my opinion, really. Not that I don't agree with all cosmetic stuff. I would never get it done personally. Whereas I look at myself, right? I hate my lips. I think they're so uneven. What could fix that? Lip filler. But I just don't want to do it. I just think it's a slippery slope. You do one thing, you want to do more. Like I got my teeth, I don't want to say done. I got composite bonding. So it's basically like they make your own teeth better. But even getting that done, I was kind of like, oh, is this like a slippery slope? A lot of my friends would get Botox. And I was told if you are very like expression in your face, if you have a lot of like personality and you talk with your face, I wouldn't get Botox, which is me. I literally talk with my face. But then again, I hate the little lines on my forehead. So I don't know. Then I feel like influencers getting stuff done, it is influencing people, but then they're taking it away. I just think it makes it seem a bit more accessible. Like it shouldn't be that accessible because a lot of normal people, I'm not saying influencers aren't normal people there. Influencers have a lot of money to get these surgeries and then they get them revoked. Is that the word? Reversed. Whereas the normal everyday person mightn't have 10 grand to get a boob job and 10 grand to get it taken out. So I just think people need to be extra careful and also just be careful what content you're consuming. Like I could watch 50 boob jobs. I don't have any boobs and I still wouldn't want to get one, whereas someone that's a bit more impressionable might. And then again, I feel like I could be influenced to get Botox. I feel like I never would. But then I see girls my own age getting it and I'm like, oh, like maybe in the future, but also no. Then again, I feel like I'm very boring. I've no piercings, no tattoos. Like I've never done anything really drastic to my appearance. I literally just got bangs and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a new person. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is, guys, don't feel like you need to get stuff done because influencers get it done. And also I don't condemn them. It kind of sounds like I'm bitching about people now. I'm not. But just be careful. I feel like I am I don't want to say like, oh my God, I'm such a good person to follow. But I really try and be as normal and as natural as possible. Maybe you'll say I'm not because I cover myself in tan and makeup and get my teeth done. But anyways, I don't know how I went off on that tangent there. But guys, very exciting thing I'm doing on Thursday. I can talk about it now because it's going to be over by then. So if you listened to my podcast with Neve last week, I was saying that I wasn't going to buy a ticket for her live show and I expect to be on the guest list and blah, blah, blah. And I've shame on all of you because people are falling for this. People are calling me Kasey Campion. They're saying that I won't buy a ticket for my own friend's live show. Guys, I am the surprise guest, okay? I am the surprise guest on Neve's live show. So it's Dylan Lee Kenny, Jack Swift, Andrada is going to be there doing her song, and then I'm going to be the surprise guest. And I'm so excited because, I don't know, I just feel like I'm born for the stage, guys. I'm going to be on a stage, big lights. I have my outfit picked already, so I'm going to I bought 2 dresses for Katy Perry, ended up obviously only wearing one. And the other dress I bought was like way too fat. Like, it's like, it kind of looks like something off Dancing with the Stars. I was kind of like, where the hell would I ever wear that? So it's like sparkly blue off the shoulder. I have matching heels. I'm also getting my makeup done. She's getting her makeup done by Caitlin. Caitlin works for Bingo Loco. She does it with Daniel, if you know who I'm talking about. She was also at EP with us on the Sunday. So she's doing Neve's makeup. So I was like, feck, I get my makeup done. But now I'm kind of tempted to get my hair done because as you can all see, I'm not great at the styling. She's getting her hair done by Con Kelly, who's so good. But then I'm like, well, I just slick it back and do like a little flickety flick with the bangs. I don't know. It's gonna be my first time like wearing the bangs out properly. So the plan is basically tomorrow's Wednesday, me and Neve are staying in a hotel tomorrow, very random. So Neve basically wants her back tan done tomorrow night and she's staying in a hotel the night before her podcast because her electricity is going to be gone on the day of her live show. And she was like, I can't wake up with no electricity. She's such a diva. So she was like, right, I'm going to stay in a hotel the night before. Kasey, will you come over and tan my back? And I was like, okay, I will, but why don't I just stay as well? Make a little night out of it. So we're both going to stay over in the hotel tomorrow night. We're going to do each other's tan. Well, each other's backs. We'll do our own body tan. We're going to probably order food, have a cute little night in before she does our pod the next day. She's obviously going to be nervous. And then the following morning, I'm going to a brunch with Smooth Company. It's their pop-up launch in Dundrum. So I'm going to that. Neve's also invited, but I don't know if she'll go because obviously she's on a live show that day. And then after that, I'm going to go, I don't know if I'll go straight to the live show. See, people can't see me coming in, obviously, because I'm a surprise. Ava was saying to me today I should make like a little video of me going in with like covering myself with an umbrella and like big glasses and act like I'm this big celebrity, which I probably will do for the laugh. But I don't think people are falling or people haven't guessed that I'm the surprise guest yet. I think anyone that has asked me, was I the surprise guest? I'm like, oh sure, I've worked that day, sure, how could I go? And they're like, oh surely Brandon will cover you. And I'm like, well no, Brandon's going to the show as well. So yeah, that's the plan. Uncle Pat and my sister are going. I'm kind of afraid when people see them, they're going to cop. But then Neve was saying like, without you, they're not going to be that noticeable. But I don't know, I still feel like they will. But anyway, I'm buzzing. We're going for dinner then on Friday to celebrate because Neve is, I don't want to say gone sober, but she's trying to stop drinking as much. So we're going for dinner on Friday. We're going to Crew, I think. We were going to go to Little Pig, but they wanted a deposit of like €150 and then Neve was afraid no one would show up. So yeah, we're going to Crew. It's me, Uncle Pat, Neve, Brandon, Ava's boyfriend, Clodagh. I think Ruby and her boyfriend are going. Ruby from the Bound episode of my podcast. Not sure if Abby's going. I'm not sure who was going, to be honest. Daniel and Shanice can't go. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting, guys. So hopefully when you're listening to this, it'll be done and maybe some of you were there. And yeah, I'm very excited. Okay, well, if Paul's happy with me. Oh, I'm getting the tea. It's time up, guys. We're going to move on to our dilemmas. I'm going to get Chloe to come in and help me. Chloe works out in the office and she also was all together now with me that weekend. We can chat a bit about that. And yeah, we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to On the Case, lads. It's best case scenario time. I am joined by, not my words, but also my words, the most beautiful person in the office. Chloe, clap, clap. Chloe, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Isn't it? Chloe's a videographer extraordinaire, aren't you, Chloe?
Yes, so I'm usually behind the camera, so this is nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah, Paul literally turned the screens away. He was like, you're not looking at your face. So what's your job? I love how I'm like, what's your job? And I literally work with you every day.
So I am the content producer for FM 104 and Q102. And yeah, video editing is my videography and video editing is my main ball game.
Yeah, guys, any video that you see usually that I'm in from F104, Chloe has done. And
I recently put you in a little mini horror short film. That was
fun. Guys, the little horror movie we done. I think it turned out really well.
Oscar next.
Do you think? I don't think I'll be winning an Oscar. But the thing with Chloe is whenever she's recording, she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm being annoying. I'm like, you're not being annoying.
That's because I'm like, I make you do like 500 takes. I'm like, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, but then also when I want her to do something for me, I'm like, hey, do you mind just like editing this video for me and having it up in like the next hour?
Yeah, I'm like, absolutely.
I think we work well together.
We do.
Speaking of working together, guys, we went all together now.
Oh,
what a time. So I had Kinga on. When was that? A few weeks ago. Helped me with dilemmas, but Chloe was also there.
Yes.
The cottage,
the spiders.
Yes.
And that was a dilemma in itself.
I am a scaredy cat, okay? But you and Kinga were way worse than me.
Yes, and I actually think you and Kinga did the fair share of the killing.
Yeah.
Of the spiders. Sorry
yeah.
To anyone who gets
we kill spiders.
But I'm sorry, I was not sleeping with a spider right over. Like, the roof of the bed was like slanted. Like,
yeah.
No way.
But the thing was, Chloe would like see a little like tiny thing in the distance. She'd be like, what's that? And then we'd all have to get up and start killing things.
Yes. Well, I would kind of just run away and be like, one of yous do it.
Yeah, she couldn't even look, but it was a great weekend.
Arachnophobia.
We had great crack.
Oh yeah, it was so fun.
We were fairly dying on was it Monday?
Yeah, the drive home.
Yeah.
Well, the drive home, you and King are like,
yeah, I was conked out, but the chicken roll did us the world of good.
Oh, it did.
It did.
I just stuck cruise control on the car and it
was great crack. Well, guys, we're going to do some dilemmas. So we're going to see what insight Chloe has into these. Okay, first one is, my friend and her boyfriend have been together for 5 years and me and my boyfriend are together 1 year. They kind of isolate themselves from our friend group and only do things together, whereas I do still enjoy the odd girls' night out and girls' holiday. I find she tries to belittle my relationship because we're only together a short amount of time and because I still enjoy doing things without my boyfriend. Is this the right way of thinking or is it a bit toxic?
So the girl who wrote this in, she's only been with her boyfriend for 1 year.
1 year.
And okay, this is unusual because I feel like usually it's the other way around. It's like if you are in that honeymoon phase almost, sometimes you can kind of forget about your friend and focus all on your boyfriend.
That's true.
So this is a really green flag for her if she's like still wanting her girls' nights out, her girls' holidays. Like that's healthy. Yeah,
and you know what? I actually find this semi-relatable because obviously I had a 3-year relationship before. And in that relationship, I'd be like, no, I'm doing everything with him, holidays with him, nights out with him. But then he'd go off and do stuff with his friends. Whereas in this relationship, which I've never disclosed how long I'm in it, to you people,
There you go.
I still love doing stuff with my friends. I love going, like
Yes.
me and Clodagh just went to Malta. We had such a ball. And I think maybe when you get, I don't know how old this girl is, when you get a bit older, you realise like it's good to do stuff with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, because I definitely had this in like my teenage relationships almost. That
Yeah.
I kind of did prioritize him. And like, God bless my friends, they literally were there for me when it ended as well, without question.
Yeah.
But like, now it's like, if you are in a secure relationship, then you kind of do, like, so is it deeper? Is the girl with the boyfriend for 5 years,
Having issues.
does she have a problem? Because you should be wanting to have your friend time. And like, it's
Yeah.
so important for your independence. Like, just
100%. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, is the girl in the 5-year relationship a bit like, oh, I never do girls' nights and I never do girls' holidays.
Yeah.
And she's
Oh my God.
like
You're
projecting.
missing out.
Yeah, maybe
They're the
you're
best.
projecting a bit. Now, I'm guilty of a Saturday night now. I love sitting in, eating food, watching Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I
Balance.
used to love a bit of coppers. But I think when you're in a relationship, you do need time apart. Like I have some friends that will never go on a girls' holiday. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God. That's terribly sad.
but it would have been me. That would have been me
I know.
in my
I
first
think we
relationship.
Yeah, you do have to go through that phase
Yeah.
as well, just to actually find the appreciation for your friend time.
Yeah.
Or like, even, can we do things together as couples? Like,
Yeah,
can
do a
they
little double date
come along with
situation.
us now?
Yeah. Because if they're isolating themselves, I'm not trying to point fingers here, but maybe the boyfriend is like, you're not going on a girls' holiday. You're not going on girls' nights out.
Oh, get
Do you
rid.
know? Yeah. I
Run
think
away. Run for the hills, girls.
what I'll say is comparison is a thief of joy. Don't compare your relationship to her relationship. And also maybe just like in a roundabout way, try find out from her, where is all that coming
Yeah,
from?
yeah. Have a one-on-one time with this girl and be like, what's up?
Yeah. Is it you
What's
that
going
doesn't want to go away? Or is it him
Yeah, is
making
there,
you
like-
not go away? Is it
Because like, sometimes I have seen it with friends where it's like, if the girlfriend is going off having so much fun and stuff, he gets insecure.
yes.
And that's what prevents her from going out and enjoying herself.
Yeah.
Again, if that's the case, run for it.
Yeah, because when I first got with Uncle Pat, I remember he had Albufeira booked. I know, the fact I call him Uncle Pat. He had Albufeira booked, but it was like so far in the distance. I was like, oh, I won't worry about it now. Then when it came to it, I was like, if someone had told me I would have a boyfriend who's going on a lad's holiday, I'd pass away. But it was fine.
Well, that's because the trust is there and
Yeah.
you're actually happy now.
Yeah, and it is so natural. So yeah, in conclusion, I think chat to the friend and just
have
see,
a conversation, just one-on-one, see what's up.
see what the crack is. Okay, next dilemma. Please keep me anonymous. Don't you worry, Queen. We will. I went back to my friend's house after Halloween and now she's making up lies that I slapped her that night. If I had done this, why didn't she kick me out of the house there and then? Instead, she's brought it up over a week later and over text as well. Is she doing this to just try and get rid of me as a friend? We're both mature adults and I don't think she's dealing with this correctly.
I'm sorry, that's a wild accusation.
Like, what do you mean? You slapped me?
Did you say Halloween night?
Halloween night.
Now, was she dressed up spooky? Did she jump scare her? And she had to, her body's natural reaction was, no, I'm only joking.
No, this is
That's an interesting one. I mean,
yeah,
Like, where
I
is it
had an
coming from?
ex-friend physically touch me before. Let's say she's not a friend anymore, but she actually did. I don't know. That is bizarre. Like, I'm half thinking, were you drunk and did you slap her and she was afraid to say it
Yeah.
till like a week later? But then I'm like, if you slap
but
someone,
I feel like you'd remember that. If
You
you're, like, I
would.
mean, yeah.
and surely if you were there and there was drink involved, if someone slapped you, you'd be like, get the hell out of my house.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be staying in my house if you just slapped me.
Yeah,
And do we have a third party witness at all? I wonder.
yeah.
Or-
And she's wondering, is the friend just trying to get rid of her? I feel like I've had friendships before where I don't know how to get rid of them, but they've eventually done it for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, so you just have to
Yeah,
come up with something.
you have to let them do something shitty again, which they always do.
Okay.
If you're any of my ex-friends anyway.
Oh.
And no, I'm joking, well, I'm not really. I don't know if you've slapped this girl, personally.
Yeah, I feel like you'd remember though. So I don't
Lie
know.
detector. Get out the lie detector.
Get out the lie detector. But like, do we want to be friends with someone who's making accusations like
Yeah.
this anyways?
I think, obviously we don't know if he slapped her. I presume he didn't. I would say straight out to this girl, why are you bringing it up a week later? Why did you not say it to me at the time? And also, is there anything else underlying in the friendship that you're randomly bringing this up now and you're trying to get rid
Yeah,
of me?
is this like your easy way out?
Your easy
Like,
way
if
out.
you have another problem, let's talk about this.
Yeah, because a lot of people do try to find easy ways out, whereas I
Yeah.
just out people on social media, so it's grand.
But this is it. You have
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest
what has
about
to be
these
done.
things.
Okay, well, I think
Good luck with that
that's
one.
pretty good answers. Paul, I think we answered pretty good. Delightful, Paul said. Guys, make sure you send your dilemmas in on thecasepod@gmail.com if they're long, if you want to give me all the details, or you can send them to on the case pod what's it called? TikTok, Instagram, or send them to me personally, whatever you feel comfortable with. And Chloe, thank you for your insight.
No
You've been
problem at all.
great.
Anytime.
We'll see you again.
This was fun.
Clap, Paul. Okay, brilliant. Well, guys, that's it. Will I wrap up this little show of mine now? Okay, he's giving me the wrap-up signals. Guys, that's it for episode 10 of On The Case Season 2. Thank you for tuning in. This is a personal call-out to my friends. I told Paul I was going to call them out in this episode. I don't think they listen. Like, the only two of my friends that I ever see sharing this podcast is Ava and Clodagh. And Ava is my cousin. So guys, if you're one of my friends and you're watching this is your like indicator to text me right now so I know you're listening. And if you're one of my followers who's also my friends, I consider you my friends. Every time you share it and tag me, I just get so happy. So please do that. I love you all so much. And Paul's giving out that no one watches on YouTube anymore. So watch on YouTube. Okay, download the Onic Player app. Bye. I love you. On The Case is an Onic original podcast hosted by me, Kasey Campion. Audio and visual design by Stephen King O'Farrell and Connor Daly. Developed and produced by series producer Paul McGregor. Executive producer Sasha Hamrogue. New episodes of On The Case come out every Wednesday on all podcast platforms, and you can watch full episodes on YouTube. Thanks for listening. This is an Onic original podcast.